Greetings from Panama. It's Janine here at Grow Strong with Wellness, Crece Fuerte con Bienestar, coming to you from Puerto Armuelles, Panama, and giving an update on our first tower garden in Panama. This baby's only 19 days since we sowed the seeds, and we're so excited at how it's going. We were successful at every single thing that we germinated, with the exception of the 2 sets of seeds that we purchased in Panama. We did not get any cilantro, and we did not get any parsley. And there's a discussion going on a Panama gardening forum on Facebook about where to get good seeds, but I think I'm just going to order them from my known sources. I like Lake Valley Organics and Renee's Organics. So everything's in the tower except for these last. We have a habanero that's not quite ready yet, and I was so excited. Our pansies finally germinated. I thought maybe they weren't going to come up, and then I remembered they take a long time. So pansies are really pretty and edible flower, and it will go in place of, I think it's this top spinach here, so we'll have some pretty color on the flower, or maybe it's this one. We ended up filling in spinach for the things that didn't germinate because we stratified so much spinach that I had spinach sprouts coming out my ears. So let me just give you a quick rundown of what we got. Everything's in the tower except for those last 2 and that dud set of parsley seeds. I'm gonna get cilantro seeds and parsley seeds. So up top we have a nice bunch of kale coming in. We love it. That will grow very big and thick. And we've got a little baby set of chives, but they've got roots coming out the bottom. They're really fun. They'll take a while before they're ready for harvest. Then we'll selectively harvest around the outside. As the plant becomes much more mature, we will eventually shear it just above ground level, just leaving enough for it to get photosynthesis and let it start over. We've got 3 spinach. One of them's in the top here. And we are following Joe Desjardins' recommendation of only 14 hours on, no more, 10 hours off, so that will help prolong how long the spinach will grow without bolting to seed. Learned that there is too much of a good thing, and too much light is one of the things that causes your greens to bolt to seed sooner. In the back, the mystery plant, which I wasn't sure if it was a butterhead or a mizuna, which grew in the, it was supposed to be cilantro. It's a mizuna. So there's just a tiny little mizuna plant in there, and I just went ahead and threw that in. That will mature faster than the other plants, and so once I find cilantro or parsley that will grow, I'll put that in there. Coming down to the second tier, I have green fresh basil, got a main plant and some smaller ones, and we'll let those grow like that. Here we have arugula, and the variety that I use is called Rocket. I really like the flavor of that. Then we have our purple basil, Selena's purple basil, in memory of our student who adored purple basil. And then I think that's it for that tier. Oh, nope. In the far back, we have sage. And we've discovered we actually really love sage, even in salads, but it's also great for fish and poultry dishes and all kinds of things. So coming down from there, we have Tom Thumb butterhead lettuce, and then we've got romaine. We think we're not going to thin that anymore. We think we're going to leave it. We have 3. We're going to allow them to be selective harvest rather than trying to do a head of those. Hey, another spinach, because can't have too much of a good thing. We have an available port here for a habanero, an available port for a pansy, and then here's our poblano pepper that just went in today. It just finally had enough roots. It had true leaves for about a week, but we didn't feel it had enough roots for it to go. Down here is the mizuna. As I mentioned, this is the only one that's not 19 days since sowing. It is 12 days, so that's only 12 days growth from the minute we put the seeds in the rock wool. This is a Jamaican red Scotch bonnet pepper that also just went in today. And then on the back of that side is, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's my radicchio. So I can't tell if I'm on it or not. Yep, that's the little radicchio, and that will be trained into a head. The cute little red head lettuce that looks kind of like cabbage and kind of like lettuce. There are, I gotta come back to show you this. Our purple beans are really growing. This is a bush bean, so it won't take over the whole tower, but we will train it as it gets a little bit longer around the grow cage. And I use a grow cage all the time. I just think it's helpful, even if you're not having fruiting plants. I just use it. But we will train the beans on that, and then it will help with the peppers and also the tomatoes. So as long as we're on the tomatoes, did I miss anything in the back? Nope. So Roma plum tomatoes, they're coming along. I did end up thinning that down to 1. I had tried to experiment to see if I could keep 2, and it was obvious that one was really suffering and the other one was losing nutrition to try to save the other one. So I chose the best one. And then 1 more spinach, and when that goes, I'll put something else in there. And I think that does it. So I've got 2 empty ports available. 1 will be parsley. 1, I think, is actually labeled already for a habanero. I think I put the label on there somewhere. I don't know. I've got a label somewhere for a habanero pepper. I believe this is to be the habanero. And, nope, I apologize. I've got the habanero labeled on the bottom. So the habanero will go down there. And then either cilantro or parsley, once I get seeds for those, will go there. And once that Mizuna's done, hopefully we'll get cilantro or parsley. So we're talking less than 3 weeks. I would say within another week or so, we will be able to do some selective harvest. I did just increase the watering time. We were on 15 minutes water on, 30 minutes off. And with some consultation with Joe DeGirdis, we decided that, Joe, I hope I'm saying your name right. He recommended 15 on, 15 off, but monitoring to make sure they're not getting too wet. And I'm actually quite happy with that. I was worried it might be too much with the humidity here in Panama, but I'm inside running an air conditioning unit. They have little, small air conditioning units. I'm also keeping a ceiling fan going. And so they're getting plenty of ventilation and dehumidification. I can also run that on dehumidify. But what I'm happiest about was the growth is more what I'm used to since I switched it to 15 on, 15 off. Nothing like the control of the timers that Joe had mentioned, HY timers that he used to market, and kind of bummed that he doesn't still market them, but that allowed increments of anywhere from a minute on to 5 off, etc. But Joe, I just wanted to let you know the 15 on, 15 off is working really well for us. With the plants we've got going, it's turned out to be excellent. And the growth just took off, and I'm really happy with it. So that's what's going on. We are less than 3 weeks in, and I am really super happy. I have a really soon-to-be thriving with salad and herbs, and eventually with beans and tomatoes and peppers. First tower garden in Panama. The herbs will run for a long time. The peppers will go for quite some time, and the tomatoes. And by that time, we will have probably started another succession of some of the other things. It just depends. Sometimes we are able to run the lettuce and things pretty long by doing a really careful selective harvest. So that's what's going on. We have our space back over in the corner. There's our germination box up there for whenever we decide to germinate again. And I did just move my bicycle out of the way to give a better view of the tower. So that's what's going on here at Grow Strong. Crece fuerte con bienestar in Puerto Armuelles, Panama. Take care. Ciao for now.